Going live. It does not say we're here. It says we're going live. It still says we're going live. It says we're here. I don't know. I don't know how any of this works, apparently. Not a clue. Clearly, I have no idea what the heck I'm doing at any given moment, but specifically on YouTube. That's just the nature of it.
That's just how it is, huh?
Right.
Okay.
I was about to say, did we check the mics? And then I look over and I see the little green light moving.
Bouncing, yep.
I'm all the way at the top, as I usually am. Look, I have a voice that carries, okay? I have range.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
We have, no, not we, but also, yes, our existence has been validated. Thank you. We should probably, say hi in our names. Hello.
I just got an ad for Star Trek Fleet Command.
Please watch that. I like our, 10th of a penny. Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Kayla Lord.
John Brownstone.
Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our monthly Friday night live stream. It's a little bit, for anybody who's of an age to remember, like Seinfeld, it's about nothing at all. It's certainly about nothing. Yeah, we're going to hang out. We're going to chit-chat at 10 p.m. Eastern. That would be our time zone. In approximately 30 minutes, we'll talk about the Q&A. The Q&A is not happening yet. We will get there. But we're going to just, start this party. And you're going to walk away while I'm trying to start this party. Okay.
You don't need me for that.
Oh, no. As I explained to you just a couple days ago, this does not exist unless you are with me. No. I'm going to say hi to folks.
Say hi to folks.
Hi, Blues, my love. Hi, Anissa. Hi, Eva. Hi, K. Justin. Hi, Sir Schmoopsy Pants. Hi, X. Hi, JB.
I was wondering.
I saw it. That's why I asked you the question of, is that why you were, just staring blankly at your iPad?
Well, I was wondering if you were actually going to say hello to me.
I have to. You're in the live chat.
Okay.
It's the rules that I made up arbitrarily 3 or 4 years ago when we started doing this. I'm sorry. That's what I have to do. Hi, Silent Wing. No, hi, Mr. Spock. I love the world. Hi, Granny Annie. Hi, New Brat. Hi, Carrie. Hi, other JB. Hi, Missy. Hi, Kim. Hi, Andromeda. Okay, I got you. Okay. I got everything. Okay. So. We're here. Actually, we got here a couple minutes early, but we're here exactly on time. I'm very proud of us. What are we drinking tonight? You're drinking water because you're on cold medicine.
Yep.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I hope your cough is just a cold, considering it's your only symptom. Right? It is your only symptom.
Yeah.
I am drinking a sad cider that was buried at the back corner of our refrigerator. Hi, Sarah. So.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us at our hangout.
Hi, Ganta. You are doing that way early. Normally it's several minutes.
I know.
I'm kind of proud of you. How are you actually feeling? He has a cough. He's sucking on a cough drop right now. He's on cold medicine. That's why he's not drinking anything. And there might be other reasons he's not drinking anything, but that is a definite reason. So how are you feeling?
Tired.
Yeah. We've been a little out of sorts today, and we have, as a result, been a little out of sorts with one another. There's a low-grade constant crankiness. Nothing where we're fussing at one another, but no. I do think there's been a lot of
the chase, let's do this.
The other walks out of a room, and on both sides. That's not just me. No, it's both of us. So this ought to be fun.
It is an angry orchard.
It is. It's a crisp apple, and it's got a raggedy label because it spent so much time in the dark recesses of our fridge.
Getting pushed around in the fridge from one shelf to another.
Hi, Steven. Yep. I'm not ever the type of person who goes, I need a drink, but this was a day, a week, a life where I went, nah, I'm having one tonight. The problem is that when this runs out, I got nothing. Unless I want to hit the vodka, and I don't want to hit the vodka. That's no fun without you.
Still got the other. You can have that beer.
Could I put some of our skinny syrups in it? Can you do that?
I don't think so.
Oh, does anybody know? He's got his sad one remaining drink is a coffee flavored beer. And I have an array of skinny serves. If I could feasibly put those in it, I would have that experiment. Because the nice thing is, a couple of these, and I can at least fall asleep at midnight. That's about all I'm good for at that point, but I can at least fall asleep. Hi, Gina. Hi, V. These progressives. I'm far enough away that I have to look out of the exact center of my eyeglasses in order to read things clearly on the screen. If it was closer, it would be clearer, so I have to do that head bob thing. Hi, Dustin. Kim asked if yours is a coffee stout.
It is.
It is.
Can't remember the name of it right now, but yes.
No,
it's
you
a
were so
coffee
excited
stout.
when you found it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just us hanging out until the 10 o'clock time starts when we take Q&A. What you got? Other than us just got a general malaise on top of us right now.
Lola took me for a walk this afternoon.
Lola almost turned you into a human kite.
Yeah.
It was the best thing ever. I laughed my ass off. I worried for you a little bit because I was thinking of your back, but I laughed my ass off. We don't have ice cream, and I can't have ice cream, Kim. It would not be pleasant. It would not be pleasant. Oh, it would not be pleasant. And I'm having a really hard time finding affordable, either non-dairy or lactose-free ice cream. It's very sad. So, Mr. Spock, I figured I could do it, but yeah, whether it was advisable or not. So yeah. Yeah, so we took Lola on a walk this evening, and there was much excitement. There were neighbors sitting in their driveway who loved on her for a few minutes.
She got belly rubs from the neighbors.
Right. And then there was not one, but two golf carts going up and down this back road that we walk on.
Actually, 3.
Was it 3? There were
Yep.
3, okay. And Lola wanted to chase. And I think the first time he managed to kind of hold her back. Was it the second time or the third time? Third time. There was no holding her back. And if anybody who knows anything about pit bulls, or you've watched enough like videos or reels or TikToks or whatever, they have this galumphing run. They're not graceful when they run. They're not like sprightly. It's the back legs come off the ground together, and it's almost like they hop when they run. And she did that run down the street after the golf cart, with JB barely hanging on the end, like, whoa! And I was like, he's about to take flight. This is hilarious.
It was more of a lope, a lope than a run. Hello.
Is that Onyx meowing in the background? So, that is a long name, Silent Wing, for your drink. Yeah, X, I spent the extra money for a wider than the standard spot, but apparently it's not wide enough. If I could just, like, pop these eyeballs out and get some new ones, that'd be great. So. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Natalie. So. I have not tried coconut milk ice cream. I've had almond milk ice cream. I've had cashew milk ice cream. I've had, oat milk ice cream. They were all fine. I have not tried coconut milk. Right now, I'm just trying to find the cheapest lactose-free ice cream I could find. And Fairlife, was it Fairlife? We were buying that all the time from Walmart because it was like $1 to $2 cheaper than anywhere else we could find it. And they
stopped carrying it.
They don't have it.
Yeah.
I'm very sad. So. Silent Wing would like to talk about your shorts. He has multiple pairs of very brightly colored shorts.
Yes.
You can see him in a dark room. Yeah, I hate beer. I hate beer, and not just because I don't want to say traumatic, but a big moment in my teenage life involved a sip of disgusting beer-like fluid. It wasn't really beer, but it was adjacent, and it was the most disgusting thing I'd ever tasted, and then I got in trouble. And so I'm sure those two things are linked, but I have yet to try a beer ever that I was like, yeah, I'd drink that.
I will not drink Miller beer anymore. I will not drink Pabst Blue Ribbon
Oh, yeah.
anymore. And also will not drink Blatz. Yes, that was a beer.
I believe it was at one of the, like, cheaper brands.
Yes.
Yeah. Wake up on the wrong end of those beers, did you?
Many times.
We don't have a Food Lion.
No.
No, we've been shopping at Aldi, and every once in a while we come across, that's how I think I got, was it the oat milk ice cream? It was a vegan ice cream. Oh, show your little tummy. You showed off a lot more for the spice page and had a little gleam in his eye. I'm going to start charging for that. Okay, y'all want to see more? Then you're going to have to pay for it. Yes, I will sell your bits and pieces to the highest bidder. Don't you know I will. So yeah. And yeah, it's just I don't want ice cream all the time, but every once in a while I get in like the mood for like something cold and creamy and sweet, and there's nothing. I also have the ingredients to make a specific cake recipe I got off of Instagram that was a total winner the first time I made it, and I haven't had time to make it, so I don't even have like the chocolate cake, the peanut butter chocolate cake. Are we buffering? Okay. What's happening? Oh no, Granny Annie, we have the OnlyFans, but you know, we could turn this into an OnlyFans. No, I don't want to get banned off of YouTube.
No.
I mean, Silent Wing, there's a price for everything, but I guess we have to get his consent before we take one of his kidneys. He does not want to wake up in a bathtub filled with ice.
No.
Look, you and I have had the money conversations, which might be why we have a general malaise hanging over us, and we're low-key cranky with everybody, including each other.
That's probably true.
Yep. So, hey, Missy, if you will DM me on my Kayla Instagram, I will send you that reel. It was good. It's you make a chocolate cake. I didn't make the full recipe because that seemed too sweet. So I skipped like the last step, but basically it's a chocolate cake. You bake it, you poke holes in it. Over that you pour a vanilla pudding you've made where you've added in peanut butter. I don't know why you couldn't just make a peanut butter pudding if such a thing exists, but either way, an instant pudding. You pour that over, you refrigerate it, and then you add, there's another step that I didn't do because it involved Cool Whip, and I think Cool Whip is the devil. It's to me, it tastes too artificial and chemically. And then you add like Reese's peanut butter cups chopped up to the top. I skipped the last thing that involved Cool Whip. Cool Whip and peanut butter, but Cool Whip, and it was still really good. It was so good. The kids loved it. They were like, we would like more of this. And so then I got the ingredients even cheaper at Aldi's, and now I've just been waiting to make a damn cake. So.
And I just want to make some oatmeal raisin cookies.
I know, and I realized I do need to get flour. We have flour, but we have like a little bit of flour.
Okay.
So we will have to buy flour. But we need to go to the store at some point for other things too. Yeah, Mally, no. I mean, my mom, now and then, and now it's the light stuff, she could eat Cool Whip, like, by the spoon out of the tub. And I could, too, as a kid, because we were too broke to ever buy actual heavy whipping cream and then make actual legit whipped cream. So I didn't taste that stuff till I was an adult. And I can't go back. I can't do Cool Whip.
I was just always trying to figure out what the Eagles were talking about on a long desert highway with Cool Whip in their hair.
Oh, stop. Misheard lyrics. So, yeah, I'll agree. It's been a week. Our week has not had anything happen specific in it, though.
No.
We've just been living life and been very cranky about that fact.
Well,
We've been very cranky.
Not really going to go into a whole lot of details, but this has been a week of hurry up and wait. We've got a lot of things hanging.
There's that too, yeah. Yeah, there is absolutely that too.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, to this day, even though my mother does know the delicious joy of actual whipped cream, she still will buy Cool Whip. Especially if a recipe calls for it. And I get that. Like, I know what her cooking origins were. She knows she has to follow recipes as they're given to her, or bad things happen. She's not the one to experiment or swap out. So I get it. I can't. So, yeah. Let's see. We are having to adjust to medication for one kid because the side effect was so bad. He's still experiencing the side effect a week after no longer taking the medication. That's great. We know the oldest has an apartment. That part's done for college. He's got an apartment. We don't know if he has to pay the security deposit or not, because I can't get anybody there to understand that actually I'm the one getting the lease, because he is only 17. Right. And so the adult guarantor you're looking for, I am she is me. Can we figure out, are you going to charge us a security deposit or not? If you are, please, Jesus, tell me now, because we got to pull that money together. What else?
Excuse me.
We looked honestly at our finances. That was depressing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Yeah.
What else?
I'm more gray after that.
Well, it was an honest conversation and it needed to happen.
It was.
We have a plan. We just have to work the plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, he might be showing more skin later, is all I'm saying, okay?
I may be your dom, but you're my pimp, is what you're saying.
That's always been true. I've been selling you and whatever services we can get from you since the beginning, since 2015, minimum.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I even tried the almond milk whipped cream. No, couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when we got that? I think it was my aunt and uncle. I can't get them to retain the information that I have not done keto in 2 years, and I'm not doing keto, and I can eat and will eat this, that, and the other. So every time they offer us food or they've made something or there's a whatever, they're always like, but it's keto. And I'm like, I don't care. Right. Let's get that tattooed across my forehead. We're done with that phase of life. Mm-hmm. And so they made us this pretty good pie that was a little sweet for me, but that's okay. They made this really good pie and they're like, we brought whipped cream, but we remembered you were keto. And I was like, if you remembered I was keto, you'd have brought me the real heavy whipped cream. But so they brought the almond milk one. No, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was
nasty.
I'm sure people love it. I did not like it.
It was nasty. And yeah, Silent, I yep. It all came off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, oh God.
Yeah, I was just, I was just thinking about that.
So I don't know if this will be as funny to anybody on the planet as it was to us, and we laughed until I was sobbing over it. It happened night before last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the middle of the night, actually probably not even the middle, it was like right about the time to wake up.
About 5:30 in the morning.
And I'm not usually like this. This is not usually something that happens. Mm-mm. But somehow, when I rolled over, I flung my arm out, and in my sleep, I hit JB in the head. And in my sleepiness, it woke me up enough that I realized what I had done, and I felt really bad, and I didn't want him to think I was just hitting him for whatever reason, where I'm not feeling that cranky. And so while half asleep without saying a word, I just put my fingers on the top of his head and started like rubbing the top of his head. And in my mind, it was to go, there, it's fine. But what he woke up to was me randomly just rubbing his head
Yeah.
with zero context
She's just doing this on my head.
in the middle of the night.
I never felt her hit my head.
I had not opened my eyes. He didn't say anything. Like, it's not like he woke up and went, "What are you doing?" I'm just silently massaging the top of his head as a way to say, "Oops, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you." And then I dozed back off.
And I get up and start my day.
The alarm didn't go off for another 30 minutes, so I dozed off and woke back up. And kind of remembered it had happened, kind of didn't. And then not that long.
Well, no, it was after I came in from the shop.
Was it later in the day? You go.
I sit down in my chair and I turn around. And I'm like, I have to ask you this. I have to know. And before I even said anything, she knew what the hell I was talking about. She started laughing.
Because he goes, "So, this morning," and nothing had happened after we were both awake. I knew the moment he said, "So this morning," I knew exactly what he was talking about. And so then I was trying to explain myself, but I started laughing so hard I started crying. My sides hurt, like that whole belly laugh you get. And I was like, "I hit you. And I didn't want you to have your feelings be hurt that I hit you. So I rubbed your head to say sorry because I know you like that. But when you didn't move, I figured maybe you were asleep, and I kind of hoped you were, but apparently you were not."
Nope.
No.
I felt you rubbing my head.
No, especially since what was funny, and this was all like split-second decisions while half asleep. I know how he likes to have I know how he likes to have all his heads rubbed, but that head, there's a way. And so I felt so bad that I had smacked you that I was like doing what I know he likes. And I'm kind of glad that, woke you up.
Well, see, too, I didn't know when I buzz my head like this, a lot of times you like touching it.
Yeah. Oh, it feels, it's a nice sensory thing. It feels all like
so I didn't know
nice.
If you just like woke up in the middle of the night and,
just started to
just wanted to
no.
play with my hair or.
I love you, and I love you.
Yeah.
And I like when your hair is short and all of those good things. But you also know I fake being a morning person. But you know that if the sun is still not up and the alarm has not gone off, I'm not doing anything to be nice. Not at all.
Well, I mean, why just stick with morning?
Daddy. Look, I do my best to fake politeness the rest of the day, okay? Hey, I have convinced up to a few thousand people in my vanilla life, pre all of this work, that I was a jovial, fun-loving, outgoing. They thought I was a fucking extrovert. That's how good I fucking was.
You had me convinced when I first met you.
I know, because I was still in that world. Oh yeah. People thought that I was the life of a party and loved every one of them. And they had no idea how many of them I fucking loathed. I don't know how I did it. I couldn't do it anymore.
I mean, I'm
not to save my soul, but I did it.
I'm not a morning person either, but at least once I get coffee in me,
You are a post-coffee morning person. Like, you're not really a morning person. You're not chipper. I don't fucking like chipper either. I just have had to, like, get up and start peopling from the moment, like, my eyes open that I can fake it, kind of. Plus, the mind's, like, it's a little bit like an old motor revving up. Once the mind starts turning over and the gears start going, like, my mind is going, and there's 10 million thoughts, and I got to deal with all of them. So I just sort of start talking based on that, and it comes across as being a morning person. We are absolutely at the point in life where not even the oldest, both kids are like, "Mom, it's too fucking early for this." I'm like, sorry, I went to bed with the mind spinning. I woke up. The thoughts are still there. The questions need to be answered. Also, I've been up longer than you have. I need answers. And they're like, "Look, I can't do this." I'm like, well. So, I actually get more done in the morning than any other time of day. Like there hits a certain point and I can feel the energy drain away from me. If I do not plan my days perfectly, nothing will get done. So I have to do certain tasks in the morning when I've got the energy and focus for it. And then by the afternoon, if I'm going to keep working, which I tend to have to, I better have different kinds of activities or nothing will get done. So, I don't know what's going on with me. My phone rang the other day and I answered it. It did help. It was my doctor's office and I recognized the number and went, oh, they don't usually just call for nothing. So I did answer that call and it was my OBGYN's office. I guess I don't need to say OB anymore because none of that's ever happening again. The gynecologist's office calling. They needed to reschedule an appointment I have in May. And she said, well, the first available I have after that date is 7:30 a.m. on whatever date. And at first I went, no. And then I thought about how our mornings roll and I went, wait, no, I can do that. And I told JB, I was like, I will be having coffee on the way there and on the way back, but I can do 7:30 in the morning. So, but
hey, and in addition to that, you actually talked to a neighbor today.
The vibes were good. I have thought I would like the ladies who live in that house across and over one. I felt bad for them when they had to put their rainbow flag in their backyard. I have never seen anybody come to their house that I would go, that's probably a conforming, typical cis-het human being. So my nosiness from like watching like a creepy person paid off, and they had passed that vibe check long before anything else. And then we saw they had one of those traps, like when you try and catch like a feral cat or whatever in their front yard. And so I was like, okay, I think they're animal lovers. And couldn't find out they have 3 cats. So yeah. And then the woman came over and she was like, I've been meaning to catch one of y'all out here. And we got to talking about cats. And then I was totally into that conversation because there was, nobody has seen this poor baby in a few days. There was another cat that kind of showed up out of nowhere, but he got both hurt and apparently, and this is what I learned in this conversation, can't swallow well. So they've been trying to trap him to get him to a vet to, or a rescue or a something to get him some help. But now nobody can find him. And she was asking if we would be willing to set the trap because on her side of the street, she got 2 possums and a cat that didn't need to be trapped. She was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. Can somebody else do this? And I was like, yeah, we would do this. I think I was like, I have to talk to my husband. But I was like, but we'll probably just trap Cheddar because that's who's always up at our front area. So, yeah. But yeah. So yeah. Ice wine. Oh my God, I have not thought about ice wine in forever. The first and I think the only time I've ever had it was in New Orleans at a very fancy restaurant where my boss paid for it, and I think they thought they were like gonna get me. I worked in a very toxic place for a very long time. Spent the $26 for this one little glass of ice wine, and I was in fucking love. It was so good, so good. So, but.
I remember you talking about ice wine. I've never had it.
Oh, it is. I don't know. I don't know if I had it at, like, because when you've had something and you've eaten something or drunk something, you have a flavor in your mouth and you take a sip of something, it doesn't taste like you think it would. I don't know if like my palate was just in the right spot. It was the sweetest, most decadent thing I'd ever tasted. It was the smoothest sweet wine ever. It was so good. It was so good. It was so expensive. I was so glad. I would never have bought the glass of it myself ever on any planet would I have done that. Because I always think, even if I ever become one of those people who's comfortable enough and has disposable cash, you can't really be raising children and have that. I have found, like, people like that are like me, I guess it just doesn't seem to work that way. Life hasn't yet to work that way. But So get done raising children, get them through college. You know, by the time they're giving me grandkids, maybe. And then I'll have no disposable income because I might have grandchildren. Anyway. So even if I one day like woke up and had a shit ton of money, I cannot imagine spending this because the financial trauma is real. But if somebody else wants to buy it for me, yeah, let them. And yeah, it was this teeny tiny, like a 1 ounce. It was like, it was a wine glass. It was a beautiful wine glass, but the cup part, whatever that official term is, was like the size of a shot glass. And I made that fucker last for 20 fucking minutes. Because the first taste I went, oh, this isn't like the other wines. This is a cool wine. And I will never get to do this again. So I made that shit last. Yeah, and I love a sweet drink, just in general. But if it's alcoholic, it better be sweet, or I'm not touching it. I keep coming across, the algorithm has decided I need a drink or two in my life, apparently. Because on Instagram and my reels, I keep coming across, the account is, I think, called Dirty Club. And I'm not 100% sure what he does, but he is, his shtick on reels and wherever else he creates content is he takes a liquor and like a soda or a something, and he tries recipes either suggested by, you know, people watching his content or like things he's heard about, and then he tries it and tells you, is it any good? And I don't have the money for all that alcohol or even all those soft drinks, but sometimes I'm like, and every single one I've seen him try has been definitely, you knew it was going to be sweet. Like it was a strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper. Like you knew it was going to, and then whatever the alcohol was, you knew it was going to be a sweet drink. I was like, okay, I'm here for it. Syrup. Yeah. Excellent. If somebody would just give me a little alcoholic syrup, I would be good. Yeah. Like, whew, that's more than I would pay for it. I bet that was a good deal too, wasn't it? Club Dirty. Thank you, Anissa. See, the only thing I know is he tends to have a glass that says the name of his account on it. Obviously, he has a site because everybody's got a fucking site these days. I don't know anything about him. I just know he keeps making drinks. And I, who don't drink very often, to the point I can confidently and accurately tell our doctor, we probably average maybe a drink a month if you like did all the math here. You know, like we just don't drink. I bet that is good eggs. We never did get to the liquor store. We gotta do that too. But yes, Cheddar is a very cute cat. She is beautiful because she's a floofy. Long hair.
Big
oh my gosh.
But anyway, going back to the that was the one you showed me last night who was trying to Jack and Coke in the can.
Yes. Oh, he also tries things that are made, and apparently Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola at some point came together and made a canned Jack and Coke. And I went, well, I'm gonna need you to make a canned Jack and Diet Coke because that's what I drink. He said it was pretty good. Like it was still carbonated and you could tell there was Coke in it, but so yeah, DS Bunny, I know. Well, I mean that skews our average a little bit. All those shots that it does does skew it. Okay, it is officially 10 o'clock our time, so we will keep doing this where we just bullshit for about whatever comes up, because of course we will. But this is also the time that if you did want to ask questions and get our, I won't even say hot takes, our lukewarm takes on it, you can do that. Let me tell you how to do that before anybody's fingers start flying across keyboards or their phone screen. Please tag us when you ask the question at Loving BDSM. It should sort of pop up automatically when you do that. That helps us see the question. 2, if it takes more than 1, maybe 2 text things to ask your question, it's probably too long of a question for this format. We have a contact page on our website, which is of course linked in the description box. Feel free to contact us through that. I do answer those. It might take me a hot minute, but I do. So if you have like a complex question, you can always ask it. Just email is better. 3, we will get to the questions as they come up. If you start spamming the chat with your question, we have 2 lovely moderators, Mr. Spock and Silent Wing, and they will put you in a timeout with our blessing. So if you do have a question, just be patient with us. We will get to it, but please, please, please tag us. That makes it so much easier. So feel free at any point, but also we'll just be bullshitting. The thing is we just 30 minutes ago we're bitching about money, okay? And I can't afford all of the alcoholic things I would like us to try. Also, with my state of mind, I probably should not have that sheer amount of alcohol
That's very
available
true.
and ready.
Very true.
I have never been a person who's like, oh, this looks like a bottle of water that I'm drinking from, and let me like make myself a drink. That's not my personality or style or whatever. And I can't remember, it was the other day, it was a hard day, and I ended up seeing a reel where a woman did that. She had her, like, I think she had a Stanley cup. I'm not that fancy. And she had like an alcoholic beverage in it and was like walking around with it, and I for the first time I went, yeah, I could see why people do that. I could see why people do that. So I think I've only tried Crown one time in my life, and for the life of me cannot remember what I thought it tasted like. Like if I thought it was good or if I liked it or whatever. I think the one time I had Crown, I'd already been drinking for a hot minute, and so I don't even remember what I thought it tasted like.
I drank a lot of Crown back in the day. It was readily available.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been around it in my adult life with people I knew who drank. Like they all had Crown. I don't remember. See, there's all these amazing like drink combos, and I'm like, well, other than peach, because I don't like peach flavor, but I like peaches. I love to eat peaches, but I don't like peach flavored stuff. Anyway, I would love to try all that. I'm gonna need to get, look, you are my daddy, so I don't want a sugar daddy, but I need whatever the equivalent is that
a booze daddy.
A booze daddy. Yeah. And remember, daddy's a vibe, so this is, you know. I don't think I've ever had a martini. There's lots of...
remember for a while I was making the coffee martinis?
The coffee martinis. I was thinking like of an actual like standard martini.
Okay.
Yeah, I like actual peaches so much. I almost asked you to stop at a stand that I saw the other day. I was like, they have peaches at that stand. I had no cash. I'm sure these days, even the little side of the road stands take, you know, whatever electronic payments there are. I was very familiar with the purple velvet Crown bag. Like that was like a symbol somehow in some subset of people I knew before I was 21. Like it was like, ooh, you have the purple bag. Thinking of the age range we were, I'm sure they got it from like a parent or something. It wasn't theirs. We were too young for that.
It was widely used back in my day too, but not for dice.
Oh, you had your wacky tobacco in it, or your harder stuff, because I know about you.
It was it was used to keep illegal substances.
Yeah. I'm very glad you did not end up in a way that you could have ended up, but also sometimes I look at you and go, I don't think I actually know this man at all.
Yep. Yeah, there's
Yeah. You know, I think it's the interesting thing about meeting later in life, but also having such a large age gap, because there was a time in your life when I literally was either not born at all yet or just a toddler, that you were out doing stuff that the man I know of you, the version of you I know, like it does not compute with the stories you've told me of a time when I was literally like a blip. You know, I was a literal baby, and you're out here just bawling. Like, how did you? Oh my God. Yeah, Salome, exactly. I know this one, not that one. And we've had that conversation. So I think knowing, like, if the stars had aligned with our ages, like if that made sense, teenage me, 18, 19-year-old me would absolutely have been very drawn to your bad boyness. And it was, OMG, how did he not get arrested? But either, as was the case when I was attracted to a bad boy when I was that age anyway, somebody would have intervened to, at the time I was salty about it, but they probably did save me, or I would have been intimidated because I was always so afraid of wrongdoing and getting in trouble that when I realized I was around somebody who was like doing shit, I always tried to like back away. So, because I was terrified. I'm the person that always gets caught. Always. Always, always. So, but I am more shocked, speaking of like peanut butter whiskey, and I think of all the different flavored vodkas, how far alcohol's come in just like the 20 years since I started even paying attention.
I was astonished at the range of flavors that vodka comes in. I mean, you know, it was the time you just bought vodka that tasted like vodka.
Which somebody tried to convince me didn't taste like anything, and I was like, you lie. That tastes like it's burning going down my air hole, but okay.
Burning is not a taste.
It feels like it. Vodka has a flavor. I think if you could take the alcohol burning sensation out, it's probably a mild flavor, but there's a flavor. I'm still enamored with sweet tea vodka. That was some good shit.
We used to make Smirnoff was the big vodka when I was younger. And
me too.
Used to make pitchers of Long Island iced teas.
Oh, I still remember my first Long Island iced tea. Tasted like KoolAid to me. I was so drunk at the end of it. I was so drunk at the end of it. It was so good. I've only had the one. It was delicious. I say that. I remember thinking it was delicious. I could not tell you what that flavor was now. But when I drank it, I was like, oh, yeah. And by the time I got to the bottom of the glass, because, of course, there was the straw. And that was always the joke anytime somebody would drink with me. If my drink... I don't sip anything. I'm not slow about my food or beverage intake ever. Even when you... that's why the ice wine was, like, so astonishing to me. Because I actually savored that. So, like, I got my Long Island iced tea. There was a straw in it. And I basically went... and got to the bottom of that cup real fucking fast. So.
Really, Mrs. Pot, gins too. I guess they're flavoring everything
anymore. I don't remember why. I must have seen something, but flavored gins make sense to me. So, I think. Hi, Onyx. Hi. You won't jump in my lap, but you will come over to me. But you could jump on this table. Everybody would like it. Thank you for the head boop. Thank you. I love you too. You could jump up here. The whole world would like an Onyx sighting. She's not going to.
No. She thought about it earlier. Instead, she tried to climb up my leg.
She didn't make it.
No.
So, it's just a little Angry Orchard hard cider. It's not that big of a deal. I'm not feeling anything, and yet I am sweaty all around my hairline. It's okay, V. Take your time. So. Yeah. I remember the first time I had Malibu, and it was like Malibu and some kind of fruit juice drink or punch. That'll knock you on your ass if you drink enough of it, and when it tastes like KoolAid, you will indeed drink enough of it. It's delicious. It's so good. It's one of the few times I think I ended up being sick afterwards, and it had been a red punch juice something that the Malibu got mixed into, and I was sick, and it too was still red.
No, Mally, you're not the only water drinker. That's what I'm drinking.
I know. I was like, oh, do you want something tonight? And he's like, no, I'm on cold medicine. I'm like, okay, that's right. I forgot. Okay. Yeah, it's typically I am the water drinker. So, prior to when I finally let my guard down at my old toxic job, I never drank with those folks because I didn't trust them. And then after I let my guard down and was shown why I didn't trust them and got like blackout drunk, and it was a bad situation. I went back to, okay, I guess I'm not drinking with those fuckers again. And now it's more of a money, and I'm constantly thinking of timing. If I'm gonna be bleary when I wake up because I've had a few too many and we got shit to do, and then I won't drink. I can't afford most alcohol, so we just don't buy it.
No.
I don't think about drinking it very often at all. Like, it just is not. And we don't go out, when we go out to eat, we don't drink because I don't want to drink without you. And if you're driving, you're not going to
Normally
drink.
I'm driving, yeah,
right.
so I don't.
And even though we know we could get an Uber or a Lyft or whatever, we just never think of it. So. But I did have a wild, like, half minute there when I was like 19 or 20. You know, V, I hate to say this, I don't think there is anywhere safe to go, like truly safe. It's all risk assessment, risky, taking chances, and some people will always let you down, and I don't know. There's no guaranteed anything. I wish I had something more hopeful to say than that.
I know.
I think any sense of safety a person feels is usually tied directly to the amount of privilege they have walking through the world. And then sheer luck that they came across people who passed the vibe check.
Yeah.
I have been in spaces where I felt extremely safe and I didn't worry about anything and the people were okay. But I could easily imagine somebody else being in the same situation and going, yeah, but I'm not because of this, that, or the other reason. V, I don't know of any specific places or names because I'm not that in tune with it, but what I believe people are starting to do is create their own safe spaces and communities. People are coming together going, this part of the community was shit. It's almost a found family thing, and it might be smaller communities of 3, 4, 5 people, if that, and maybe growing over time, but that's more of what I've seen in different broader communities, sub-communities being created around being queer, around being intersex, around being a person of color, like whatever that community needs to be for somebody to feel safe. But safety is a bit of an illusion. Like, you're only safe until you're not. It only takes one shitty person to make somebody feel unsafe. At this point in life, I feel like that's the solution. You find one person here, one person there, and you create your own community where you can feel yourself and safe. And that takes time, and it takes effort, and not everybody has time or effort. But I think everything is just, there's a risk to everything. I say that as an anxious person who sees risk everywhere. But yeah. I don't think you have to reject all of it. I think that, I don't know. I think the world we live in today allows people to find their people from across the world. It's mostly online. It's harder to be in person. And sometimes you meet somebody who's in your local area, but you only met them because you came across them online. And it's all a long-term thing. There's no quick solution that I can think of. But you doing okay over there? I am so hot. Am I having a hot flash?
Most likely, because it's not.
Oh my God, I'm dripping. Oh yeah. I have a feeling she's gonna change my meds next month at 7:30 in the morning. Oh my God. So. Now, V, I don't know if... I don't want to speculate and say that this is a thing. I'm relaying information I have heard, and if it feels accurate to you, take it. If it doesn't, reject it. A thing that I have recently heard, and I've actually been thinking about my mother with this one, is that sometimes we are drawn to people or feel we think maybe a connection, or we feel like maybe this person is okay, not because they're okay and not because they're safe, but because we have so much experience with shitty people like that those shitty situations are almost a comfort, because that's what we recognize maybe from childhood or more formative years. And even though it might be chaotic and it might even be unsafe, sometimes some people gravitate towards types of people, towards places, towards whatever, because the chaos and uncertainty feels more comfortable.
It's a comfort zone, yeah.
Than something different. I am not saying that's been your experience. I'm throwing it out there as food for thought, because every time I've heard it, I can think of myself or another person in a situation that I see them coming across similar types of people or having similar experiences. And that's not to say that it is ever their fault that it happened. What the fault is whoever caused their trauma originally in their formative years. But it is a thing I have seen therapists and people who study psychology talk about, that can happen. Reject it if it doesn't fit. Feel free. I'm not speculating on anybody. It's just a thing. And I keep thinking about it every time I think of my mother. And she even acknowledges that. And she even told me, she said, yeah, I'm repeating this type of person in my life. But this is what I know. And I'm like, but you don't like it. She's like, I know, but it's what I know. And she has decided at 62, she's too old to change things. And I'm like, you're never too old to change things, Mom. So, but. Badgerton, I have not heard of Wicked Fellow, but I actually don't consume near as much kink content as I think others do. So. Yeah, Search Moosey Pants. My belief is, and I know like Rara and Dara on the Pink King podcast feel the same way. No one person, channel, platform, whatever, has all the information. And the best way to learn is to hear from different resources. It doesn't mean you have to listen to 10 podcasts or watch 20 YouTube channels or whatever.
Which ones resonate with you.
Right. And the more you can find that you're like, yeah, I connect with that, I like that, whatever, the more perspectives you take in, the more it can inform your own perspective. Because ultimately, we each have to have our own very unique, individualized experience with this, because it's based on who we are and what we want and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But yeah.
And we often talk about how, we are not the only resource out there.
I don't want to be somebody's only resource. You are getting a very narrow, anxious view of life if the only one you're listening to is me. Don't
get your information from multiple sources.
Yep. And sometimes those multiple sources might be you listen to a podcast, you read a book, you watch a YouTube channel, you go to a Munch and have a conversation with this person. Like, the resources can be so varied.
Yeah.
So, DS Bunny asks, what other podcasts do we recommend?
Definitely Pink Kink.
Yep, Off the Cuffs.
And I always butcher this name, and you have to correct me.
Oh.
Geeks.
Oh God. Oh God! I just hold on.
Yeah.
On my phone. I just
Okay.
drew a blank, but yes, because we've listened to their podcast and we like it, and now and we've had conversations with the people.
Right. Yep.
Hold on, I've got to go find them because I can't think of their name right now. I feel so bad. Why is that not doing right? Nope.
And they have a good their podcast. They talk a lot about polyamory and kink.
Mm-hmm. Freaks, Kinks, and Geeks.
There you go.
That's what it is. Freaks, Kinks, and Geeks.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good folks. I've actually met them in person several times.
Mm-hmm. Some of the podcasts I used to listen to no longer have episodes, so I'm like really out of date. I have gotten to a point. I did a thing like I always do. I always go all in on whatever I do. And for a time, like all of the content I consumed was about sex, or was about kink, or was about this, or was about that. And that is a clear path for me to burnout. So I pulled way back on that kind of stuff. Especially since the way I prefer to learn is through like reading books and stuff, or like longer form content. And now, like if I listen to a podcast, it is purely for my entertainment that has nothing to do with work. I'm actually trying to find more podcasts that are like, I use podcasts to learn about issues and stuff I didn't know about, but sometimes that feels a little too heavy, and I just want something lighter. My absolute favorite podcast that has nothing to do with kink is Stuff You Missed in History Class. I fucking love Tracy and Holly. They're amazing. I could listen to them all day. I want other podcasts with that vibe and learning stuff, but not like that I like is digestible and is like I go, oh, I know this factoid now, but I haven't made the time to go look for more stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, hi, Rara. I am so hot. Hi, Lilthra88. I am so fucking hot. If this was OnlyFans, I think I would take off the shirt. Just saying. I am not getting us banned from YouTube. And I had enough.
No.
Not hate on YouTube over the past several days, but like clear disdain and distaste for all that is me that I just don't want to invite it on purpose right now. So I'm going to keep my shirt on even though I'm melting. I'm melting. Feel the back of my head. Right at my hairline.
Actually, you feel clammy.
I know. It's sweaty. It's sweaty. Nikki, I think I've come across that person on like Instagram. Is that the person?
I started following her on Instagram. I have not listened to her podcast.
Okay.
But I love.
For people who aren't looking at the live chat, Kinky History with, is it Esme Louise James? I don't know if I'm saying her name right. But yes, and if you want digestible little bits, Instagram. She's on Instagram.
I love listening to those little bits and on that I come across on Instagram. Funny, has really good sense of humor, and a lot of the stuff I listen to what they're talking about, and like, wow, I never knew that, and then that's kind of cool, and really some really neat little tidbits.
No, Silent you cannot. I can go open the fridge door and hope that helps. Rara, he has not shared his adventures on Pink Kink yet. It was a wonderful experience. For once, he got to go off on his lonesome, and I it made total, like, it was perfect. And I tried not to eavesdrop because I didn't want him to feel pressure, but I also learned just how much you can hear from that kitchen when you're standing at that sink.
Right.
There are no secrets in this house amongst the four of us. I've had to come to terms with that. So I was like listening to your part of that, and yeah.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Oh, thanks, Dustin. I always feel like we should be more educational and less entertaining, but I just, I I know what best practices are for creating content and teaching and monetizing and blah, 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 blah. And I know what those things are. And every time I've tried to like pigeonhole us into that, I've been miserable. I like to live in the nuance. I like to live, God help me, in the shades of fucking gray. And those are the kinds of conversations I want to have. And they do not make good sound bites and easy digestible, you know, I just, Thanks for being here, V.
Yep.
Be safe out there. So, I'm sad that that was the only one, and I'm not drinking your nasty, yucky
Coffee stout.
coffee stuff. I'm not if it was safe to put my sugar-free syrups in it, I would do it. I trust that it's probably not going to turn out well.
You can do anything you want.
You could do anything you want, but should you? I mean, I have got enough
you may not have
experience
a happy tummy
in this
later.
world to know that just because I can do something don't mean I should do it.
Right.
So it's funny when people tell me that I'm educating, if that is your experience with it, then that is what I'm doing. All I ever wanted to do was to get to warn people of the shit that I've been through, hopefully before you go through it. 2, for others to feel solidarity if you've already gone through it. And 3, to get folks having their own conversations in their own relationships, partnerships, situationships. I don't know. If education has accidentally been a part of that, that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Quite frankly, if I thought there was a living to be made out of just this, I would probably do it. Until I burnt myself out, because I overdo everything I do. When I get enthusiastic for stuff, I do it way too much. But, yeah. So, I like being, it's weird, I like being a goofball, because I feel like I'm being my genuine self in this kind of whatever we're doing here, in a way that I cannot fathom doing outside of this kind of community. Like, I could do it in person at, if the day ever comes, if, you know, something miraculous ever happens and Loving BDSM takes this show on the fucking road and is like in person somewhere, I could be this way, because this is
LB the Road Show.
Right. I'm gonna get a banner made for the car. Then it's a tax write-off. Anyway, but outside of inhabiting myself as Kayla Lords, and I like when I go out into the world under my legal name, probably unrecognizable. The only people who would recognize this outside of this space are the kids, because I'm a big old goofball at home. I stim constantly. I didn't know that's what it was, but I do it. I unmask a lot. I say, I don't think somebody with a 12-year-old kid's humor should probably be raising teenagers, but here we are. I have a 12-year-old kid's sense of humor and the knowledge of a 43-year-old grown-ass lady. It's a dangerous combination. I'm either traumatizing my children or setting them up for a lot of success in the future. I don't know. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, if I could live in this space like this, like how we are all the time, again, until I burnt myself out, I would do it. We had a question come through.
I don't think the video is buffering.
Would you stop fucking with these poor people? That's not nice. That's a sadist who doesn't have anxiety. DS Bunny asks, what's a topic y'all would want to educate on? I don't know. Every time we've done something that was purposely educational, had so much anxiety over it. We did the session with the Dom Sub Living DS Virtual Summit, which apparently was a roaring success. And we made our content. We were happy with our content. I took it I was way more professional about it than I am on anything else we've ever done. Like we were scripted. We did a couple of takes of stuff. Like I heavily edited that thing. And then I had to avoid thinking about it. Like I could promote it. Like I was proud of what we'd done. I was proud to be part of it. Dumb Sub Living like has our like seal of approval, and I haven't taken every class they've got, but like I think they're legit, like all that good stuff. I mean, they keep asking us to do shit, so I'm gonna go, yeah, you probably are. But like I couldn't think about the session we recorded again after that, because it was so nerve-wracking. It was like, I don't know if we educated anybody, or if half the people watching went, well, this is bullshit. Like I get so much fucking anxiety over it. Yeah, something X. I don't know what's going on. We got a green light. Our side seems to be behaving. I do not know. And also, thank y'all, everybody who's saying such nice things. I promise I have not been trying to fish for compliments. Search for Sea Pants, I do think about that a lot, because we'll get people who are new to our channel, like they've seen one thing and they'll have like this laundry list of things they think we should be doing or they want us to talk about. And back in the day, that was harder for me, because I was like, oh God, maybe we should be doing that. Ooh, so much anxiety. I'm very comfortable with the fact that we focus on power exchange and these days, the very like narrow like nuances of there's 10 million things that go into it, and we'll talk about all 10 million of them individually, right? But my own insecurities show up when somebody who doesn't know us, has just found us, but has, basically a list of demands for the kind of content they would like to see. I'm not the type to like comment back at stuff like that. I just like ignore it and whatever. They'll either, figure out who the fuck we are, or they'll move on and find the content they really want. But that is a thing, I think, like, that's not what we do here. So maybe go find somebody who's making that content. I'll point you to a list of resources, because that goes back to it. We make a type of content. We're very niched down. BDSM is niche. We went further. We niched even further. And I'm not going to pretend that I can have coherent conversations on certain topics. Like it's not going to be as good. You're going to get a lot of Well,
according to this, our numbers are all good.
Okay, good. So, rah-rah. Y'all are doing a damn good job. I'm glad we could, in some weird way, inspire you. Kylie asks, what would you tell a 28-year-old about life?
Enjoy it. Do what you enjoy. Get out there and live your life. Don't worry about what other people tell you should be doing. Do what makes you happy.
I don't disagree with him. That is not what a me would say to you. One, I'm a more anxious person. Two, I have a very clear memory of before I was 30 and then when I was 30. And if I could go back to my 28-year-old self and let her know what the fuck is on the horizon, I would probably, if I'm talking to a 28-year-old about life, I'm going to tell you the things you're scared of doing, of the person you're scared of being, the shit you think might not work out, the fear is probably not based in that much reality. It will work out, maybe just not the way you thought it would. Yeah. And we tend to be stronger than we know, and we tend to, if you're still on the planet kicking and breathing, you've gotten through every hard day you've ever had. And the other thing I would tell a 28-year-old about life, because I do remember very clear before and after, is that the things that have been worth it have been the hardest things I've gone through. But once I got through the hard part, it wasn't that hard anymore. And I got through the hard part. And once you get through one or two real hard things you didn't think you could do, you realize that maybe you can get through other hard things.
True.
I would tell a 28-year-old you are worth more than you realize. You are certainly worth way more than the people who make you feel shitty or who treat you shitty. You are worthy of all the things you dream about and all the things you really wish you had. You're worthy of it. You might not get it, but by the time you don't get it, you don't even miss it. I promise you, mid-20s me thought she wanted a life that I don't have, but it's what 25 dumbass me wanted. Didn't know shit yet. I hadn't been through. I'd been through some stuff, but not through as much as I would be by the time I was 30, 31. 30, 30 was the best year because I had the second kid, and I knew I was done with kids at that point. I was like, look at me, I got my 2 babies, I'm good. It immediately turned into 31 being the hardest year because that's when I split from my then husband and had to reckon with all the things I had thought I had ignored for 12 years previous about him and who he was, and it all showed up at once, and it was tough. But yeah,
I think the one other thing I would have to say is don't be afraid of change. Change is difficult. To many people, it's frightening, but it's not always bad.
I can't tell anybody not to be afraid of shit. Anxious girl here. But I will tell you that you can be brave for 30 seconds, and sometimes that's all you need. For me, bravery for 30 seconds is the 30 seconds it takes to make the decision I'm terrified of. And then I might be scared every other fucking step of the way, but I'm the person, and you have to know yourself at this point. You be learning yourself. Once I get on a path that feels like it's right, even though I am shaking in my fucking boots, I'm on that path until I decide I don't want to be on it anymore. I will say the thing that a lot of us talk about of by the time you're in your 40s, you have fewer fucks to give. I think that's mostly true. There's always, an exception. I still have too many fucks to give, but I have a shit ton less than I did when I was in my 20s. I'll tell you that right now. So, yeah.
I'm barreling down 62, and my life keeps changing all the time.
I know. I do feel like, and I feel really bad for this, you're kind of at a point you're like, could it stop changing for 30 goddamn seconds? Actually, the change we want is the one that seems to be the most elusive right now. I think that's the hard part.
Yeah.
So. But yeah. Blue, I met him at 19 and started dating him. I got married at 22, so we'd been married 9 years. We were together for 12. So, and I think I was under severe stress prior to that because rough childhood and all. But at age 19, I started worrying about somebody's rent and how they were going to live, and never stopped, and have been under lived until I was about 32, 33, give or take, lived under extreme financial stress. And it's funny, I'm not in a dissimilar situation financial stress-wise right now. I mean, it's a better situation because, we're a partnership and we're actually working on it together. But actual money-wise, not that dissimilar. And yet I am less freaked out. I'm freaked out, but I'm less freaked out now, this time around, than when I was 20, 21, 22. So, I mean, I do think that too. I'm, I'm the cusper, so I'm technically, I think it's sometimes it said Xennial, sometimes it said Zennial. I'm in between Gen X. I think you are too. I think we're about the same age, right? Between Gen X and Millennial. And so I see both sides of it, but like, I don't relate to a lot of the Gen Xer stuff about being latchkey kids and having to, like, be independent. I had super strict parents that were overbearingly overprotective, to the point that the moment I did finally get freedom, I lost my fucking mind. Like, it's one reason why I've never been super tight with the boys on trying to control them, because I'm like, yeah, if I try this, by the time they get freedom, I don't know what's going to fucking happen. I don't know how I came out of my late teens, early 20s unscathed, but here we are. So.
Well, it's kind of like me. I mean, I'm sort of a...
You're a cusper, too. Just
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah.
I know, because when somebody points out that you're technically a boomer, you get really pissed. And I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Because I don't think the way they do.
No,
I see
you
how
don't
they
think
and
like
I'm
older boomers do at all.
No.
And that's a generalization. There are older boomers who are not
Oh, absolutely.
trash.
Absolutely.
But there are enough that we come across that's like, you just seem old to me. Like, why are you so old? Why are you so old?
Yeah.
Again, not hashtag not all boomers, but enough of them.
Yeah.
Jesus. That sort of I got mine, fuck you mentality.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I know.
I know, Robert. He was, you know what?
Yeah.
But there is a like, he sees that part of it. Being the cusper, he can identify with certain boomer stuff. But yeah. It's because it was y'all that he was willing to do it. But when I have jokingly teased, or when one of the boys has called him boomer, it's not pleasant. You are technically baby boomer, but you're a baby boomer,
Right.
Just like I'm a baby Gen Xer. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think the only time it really got under my skin was when one day when the oldest started letting in on me that the problems of the world were because of the things that I...
Yeah, like you were a part of it. You were like, I was too, okay? Right? I have mostly enjoyed that for the most part. People forget Gen Xers exist, so they think the argument is only between boomers and Gen Xers. But that is starting to become less true. I think I've just found the Gen X side of the algorithm, and I've come across some content that complains about Gen Xers. Typically, people who are Gen Z and work for a Gen Xer or have a Gen X parent. I like to think I'm pretty fucking chill, but I am absolutely doing the thing that I've heard a lot of Gen X content creators talk about, which is we're literally raising our children the opposite of the way we were raised. And I was like, yeah, because why the fuck would we do that to the next generation? We're all fucking traumatized, whether it was because we were a latchkey kid and fucking abandoned and turned feral, or for whatever, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but... I know, Silent, my internal picture of myself is one really confused and garbled, because if you ask me how old I feel, it does depend on the day. If the knees have just been cracking and my neck hurts, I'll tell you I feel every inch of 43. Yeah, that's how old I am. But like my internal like thought, I'm like, I'm still 20, 21, 18, 23. Yeah. Like I'm there. Like I don't know what 43 feels like. Well, but yeah.
I mean, it's the same for me, because up here, I'm like, oh, I can do this. I've done that. I know how to do this. I'm capable. My body says differently.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. My mental image of myself is really skewed. One, because I think I'm using the term correctly for myself. I have a bit of body dysmorphia. I don't want to get into it because we didn't do any content warnings for us, but anybody who knows. But my mental image of myself, I think it's still in that 18, 19, 20 year range. And then I'll like see a picture of myself, or I'll look in the mirror and I'm like, and especially if the lighting's not quite right, I'm like, who the fuck is And yet sometimes, especially in good lighting, because good lighting is everything, I'm like, I don't think I look like I'm in my 40s, but I don't know what looking like your 40s even means anymore, because we all have, to the extent we have the financial means, access to update our appearance, and God knows if you have a smartphone, you have access to filters. So I don't even know what 43 looks like. I'm very fortunate. I feel like I'm very fortunate. Other people will be like, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't really have lines around my eyes, but they're deep set and they're very shadowed. I look very tired all the time. And I didn't have good skin as a young person, but it was more peaches and cream than this shit is. So
yeah.
Oh God, when Nirvana and a few other groups come on, the radio station I listen to, they at least do not call it classic, but it is essentially classic, because they are playing things like Nirvana from the 90s. But that kind of music comes on. The stuff I listen to mid to late teens, I'm like transported. I am that person, and then I start like doing the moves, and then my neck goes, and I go, oh no, I am not that person anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's like, you know, it blows my mind when I hear them talking about how Guns N' Roses is classic rock, and you know, you see a current Axl Rose, and he's like, it's like somebody's grandfather.
I know, but do you want me to finish the thought I just had? I don't want to hurt your feelings, but if I do, I'll rub the top of your head.
Go ahead.
You look like you could be a grandpa. A young grandpa. You don't look like... In my mind, when I think of my grandpa, I'm remembering me being a little kid and him seeming old. Knowing what I know now, he was not. He actually... By the time he was your age, he had severely aged, though. His hair had gone all white. He was very gone. He died of cancer, and he died just a few short years after my grandmother died, and that I think wrecked him more than anything. So you look like a young.
Yeah.
To me, if I think of what 61 looks like, I mean, to me, yes, that's you because I know you, but the stereotypes I had in my head 20, 30 years ago, no, you don't look like that to me. You look like younger. I think part of it is many of us are not aging as fast as generations past did because we have access to better skincare, cleaner water, I don't know, something. Somebody who knows this stuff can answer it better, but So Dustin asks, speaking of music, what's your ideal kinky fuckery playlist? Rock, tends to be rock, usually like alternative, sometimes classic. Anything with a driving, thumping, throbbing beat.
We have played to Linkin Park, Bon Jovi,
AC/DC. But then we've also played to AWOL Nation.
AWOL Nation, yeah. Somewhat recently, the Bond Quartet. So, yeah, I mean, just a whole different range of.
But typically,
Godsmack.
Oh yeah, typically within that kind of genre, but yeah. Yep. I think here on YouTube we have. I haven't updated it in a hot minute, but I think we have a playlist that is music videos of the types of music that is on that we would sing to. It's not everything, but. So I'm like, no, and I feel like I should know who Tea Party is, but I don't. It's not ringing a bell. Oh yeah, Pink Floyd. We have definitely seen to that. Offspring. Oh man, every time I hear Offspring, I am 13 again. Every fucking time.
That be the Tea Party, Silent? That's what they look like.
Okay. There's the group. I don't know how to say their name, and I've heard one or two of their songs on the radio now, but I actually came across them as a music, an audio for reels on Instagram, and the song that blew up the most was called Beggin'. I think they're Italian. They're not American. They're not an American group. I can't think of the name. Yes, the Tea Party.
Okay.
Serendipity, you're right. There are grandparents in their 30s. My mother became a grandparent. Hold on. I had the oldest when I was 25. My mother is 19 years older than me. She was 44 when I made her a grandma. She had me at 19. She got married 9 months and 3 days before I was born, if that tells you anything. 3 months after she turned 18. I was born 2 weeks after her 19th birthday. So, yes, Blue, that's it. But I don't know how to say that group's name. I always want to say Main Skin, and I know that's wrong. And I know it's wrong because the DJ on the radio did not say it that way. But I don't know. I liked that song, that Beggin', and then there was another one that kind of blew up on through Instagram Reels and stuff. And then I went and kind of listened to like bits and pieces of their other music, and it was okay. It was good, but it wasn't. I don't think it was similar to what had gotten popular, and so then I just. You know, something that is something I can relate to. When the kids tell me about stuff they like and it's modern stuff, I'm always like, oh, I probably shouldn't be the one to listen to that. Then should I?
Well, today driving home, they were talking about the history of Rush on the radio, and the youngest pops up. Rush is mid.
God.
And I looked at him
the opinions
and said,
of these teenagers.
And I was like, I question your taste in music. He goes, Rush is mid. And like, and I stand by what I said. I question your taste in music.
Oh wow, X. We would love on my side of the family to have somebody live past about 64. My mother, if she does it, which she should, she's in good health and she takes care of herself, will be the first person in 2 generations. In the 2 generations before her, only one person managed it. I've got family that did not take care of their health, nor did they pay attention to it, nor did they think going to a doctor was like a thing you should do. But also, my grandma was from the Appalachian Mountains, and she was that's a place even to this day they are quicker to pull a shotgun out on you if they don't recognize you than anything. So going to a doctor was not only inaccessible, you just didn't do it. So, yeah. But
You're welcome, Kylie.
So,
And Silent, I don't find that hard to believe. Neil Peart was an amazing man. Not just as a drummer, but as a lyricist for the band and as a writer.
I support you and your passions.
Thank you.
This has nothing to do with this, but it was a connection that I made. Foo Fighters has a new album that's coming out in June.
Yes, they released a new song. I heard it the other day.
Yes, the radio station was playing it every hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the youngest went, what if you have a long road trip and you're listening to the radio? That I was like, it would be a lot of listens. He's like, I would not like that. And I'm like, I understand. And for anybody who's like, oh, you don't listen to Spotify? You don't? No, I don't. Anyway, I have Spotify. I don't. Anyway, this information may have already come out, but I only get my music information from the radio because I'm that old. But at the time when the new song came out and they were talking about the new album coming out in June, the DJ on the radio, she was saying that she did not know at that point who their new drummer was and who they had gotten. Now, that does not mean that information's not out there.
Yeah.
And that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the new song is good. I've enjoyed it.
I had to listen to it 2 or 3. The radio forced me to listen to it 2 or 3 times, and then it grew on me, and then I was like, okay, yeah. But the first time I listened to it, I don't know. There's something I didn't connect to it, but
yeah.
I
mean, I listen to Spotify more than I do the radio anymore.
Yes, you went to the audiologist this week to have your hearing aids checked up on, and they connect into their computer so that he could see what kind of, like, how it's been used, and are you using it enough? And he was like, he asked JB, he's like, so you're wearing them all day? He's like, yeah, mostly. and I understood what you were doing because you take them out when you're in the shop and you put your noise canceling in. Like, I know
Yeah.
that. But here's what's hilarious about that. And that represents about 5 to 6 hours a day, most days of the week. But even with that, the doctor looked at the screen and went, "Oh, so you stream about 12 hours a day." Now, some of that is not Spotify, but
Yeah.
a lot of that is Spotify. A lot of that. A lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the only reason, Maddie, I even have the Spotify app is because JB got Spotify, did pay for it, then went, "Hey, for a few dollars more, we can get a family account." Got that. Now the kids have access to Spotify, and I went, "I guess I'll set up an account. Fine." And I was mostly listening to podcasts because there were some that were exclusive only to Spotify.
Sure.
But then that couldn't hold my interest for very long. It was too deep. I was like, I want to listen and escape, not have to like go deep into my own thoughts and traumas. Thanks. And I tried like finding playlists that were okay and making a couple of playlists, but I just I don't listen to a lot of music. I like
You don't,
music.
yeah.
When a song I like or an artist I like comes on, I'm in it. I'm transported. I fucking love it. I don't seek out music. I really do not.
Yeah. I mean, the oldest, I shared out the Spotify account with him under the family plan. Oh my gosh, he uses it a lot.
The youngest is getting there too.
Yeah.
He found the sleep function on Spotify, and so he goes to sleep listening to music. And I'm like, that's how, when I was a kid, that's the only way I could fall asleep. I had to be listening to music.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
And yeah, sure, Smoothie Pants, the thing about the suspension point you're talking about, what
trying to
X
figure
is
out.
what X is telling you, yeah, you definitely need to find a stud, and I'm not really qualified to talk about it. It's not something I have ever done. I'm sure if you searched YouTube, there's some folks on there that will be able to tell you. You might want to try looking at the Dutchie. Their website, they would probably have anything. But yeah, you definitely want to come off a stud. I've even seen people in past memories, people go up in the attic and reinforce the stud, up there that they're using for the suspension. So, because yeah, that's not something you want to underdo.
I got nothing.
No,
No, I'm hot still, and I'm thirsty.
I think that the brown bottle there might have something to do with you.
I don't know what you're talking about. And I drank my Diet Coke already, so I don't even have that to fall back on.
It's very sad to be you.
It is. It's hard to be me. Just a reminder, technically, this is also a Q&A, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to tag us. Don't spam the chat. Do your best to try and keep it brief. But you can ask whatever's on your mind. Smiling.
Yeah, right?
I know.
What, potato water?
But yeah, it's potato water. It's a vegetable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maddie asks, JB, any green flags for a safe player? I think admitting when they don't know something is a green flag.
That's definitely a green flag. Asking, I think something important when getting ready, going into a play, with somebody, asking them if they are on medication, if they have any medical history that would affect play. Things like that are very important.
Another green flag is listening as much, if not more, than they speak. So somebody you're playing with should have opinions. They should be able to tell you what they're looking for, what they'd like, what they don't like. But then having the ability to, one, if they ask a question, to sit back and let you express yourself fully, or just listen as you figure out what you're trying to say and trying to express yourself. Asking follow-up questions.
Right.
Nothing like irks me more personally, but also comes across as a red flag as, and you don't always know this until after the fact, but if somebody asks a question, I give them basic information, but they don't go, okay. Like if I say I'm into spanking and they go, okay, and they don't ask a single follow-up question, they actually know nothing about what I'm into with spanking. Like sometimes we don't always express ourselves as clearly as we'd like, and a green flag is somebody probing for more and better information. Now, that's imperfect because sometimes you're two inexperienced people playing together and you won't know what questions to ask, but green flag, apologizing, admitting they were wrong.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Taking the other person's needs into account.
So yeah. Yes, Mr. Spock, I agree. Somebody who can say no is a good green flag. I want somebody who knows their own boundaries, knows their limits, has decided for themselves what feels safe or not, is, whatever, and they can go, no.
Not only that they stand by their own boundaries, but they respect other people's boundaries.
And when what's being proposed is too risky or beyond their limits or beyond their expertise, and saying, no, we can't do that. No, I don't want to. No, not right now. Like, yeah. I think I agree with that, Mr. Spock. Oh my gosh. We did do an episode on green flags. Those were focused more on relationships, but I think some of it probably would apply even for
crossovers.
Yeah. A lot of the things that, not all, obviously, but a lot of the things that apply to a power exchange can apply to just what am I trying to say? Can apply to play partners. That was the word I was going for. Okay. Yeah. Serendipity says. Serendipity asks, do I remember at one point you guys saying that a family member outed you or outed your podcast or something? Several things have happened over the years. It's several years in the past at this point, but the first thing that happened was that JB as a Kinkster, as Southern Sir, as John Brownstone, got outed by got figured out by his ex-wife, and then she told the whole goddamn family. So that was the first thing that happened, and I can't even remember what year that was. 2016, I think so. Because you decided to just go ahead and leave your job where you were already miserable, so it wasn't it was painful, but it wasn't that painful because living in fear that they would then out him to a boss or something. It was like,
I worked in in public education at the time.
And leaving voluntarily, he got to keep his pension. So then when that happened, I didn't think it was fair that I got to fly completely under the radar with my family. So in a small way, I kind of outed myself to my family, but I kept it really vague, and they didn't want to know more. They were good with not knowing more. Then in 2019, I relaxed too much, apparently, because the jokes among my side of the family was, we could buy a house because Kayla wrote about sex. I thought we all relaxed. And for the first time, I told my mom exactly where we were going in 2019. We went to Eroticon in London. And I think I said it in my stepfather's hearing, or she innocently just said, yeah, they're going to this thing called Eroticon. Well, he went on the good old Google machine and looked that up, saw what it was, which shouldn't have been a big deal because it's about sex writing, and that's what I did. Found my bio because I was a speaker, started clicking links, found everything.
Yep.
Found my sex blog mostly. I don't know how much he figured out about the podcast because he's not a podcast listener, so I don't know if he found that. But he found my sex blog where a lot of nudity still exists to this day. Freaked the fuck out. Banned us from his house and his property. Didn't tell my mother that at all.
Yeah.
I had to be the one to tell her that. That was a little fraught because I didn't know how she would respond. Told everybody in his family, so that's interesting. And then bombarded my mom for weeks afterwards by basically stalking my Twitter account. He didn't have an account, and if he did, I never figured out what it was. But he would go into Twitter to see what I was posting, and I think we even went back through like my Twitter feed history and was like, look at this. And my mom had to literally make a rule of, we will not talk about this again, ever. Do not ever bring this up to me again. I do not want to hear it. We figured out how to block him on some stuff,
right,
but could never block him everywhere. I've seen my mother many times since then, but I have not been back to South Mississippi to visit her. And probably won't until he's dead. So, yeah, very shamey, very, just, I've not dealt with it fully because it did fuck me up in some ways. It was traumatic in its own way. We have continued to do what we do and thrived.
Yeah.
Mostly. So, we're all good, but yeah. That was, that's what you might be remembering. And we did episodes about those different times as they happen, but they're that far back. So.
Yeah.
Ari asks, favorite place to buy rope? That one's for you.
Yep. Two places. Minawashi for jute rope.
They are on Etsy.
And recently I've discovered a rope shop. They're actually local small business here in Florida called Die Addict Rope.
DYE. Here, I'll type it in the chat. Or do you want to type the names in the chat?
You go ahead.
Okay, you have to give me access to the keyboard.
All right.
Move your whoopee juice.
Yep. Oh. So, yeah, Die Addict has nylon rope. Beautiful, beautiful colors. Just recently got some. I haven't used it yet, but I'm hoping to be using it very soon. And yeah, Minawashi, we've gotten some beautiful jute rope from them.
You still haven't even tried that rope out on me yet.
No. I just said that. I haven't tried it yet.
Oh,
but
sorry,
soon.
I missed that. I think I was...
You were typing.
Yes.
So I'll give
and
you,
reading,
I'll give
can't...
You, I'll give you that.
Yeah. So, Shybeen, I'll tell you this. You will not be alone as a kinkster in public education.
You will not be alone.
There are a lot of kinky people there.
When I went to one of the Munches in my area, I ended up running into a number of people who worked in the same place that I did, and very kinky people.
Yep.
So, matter of fact, one person who worked in the same place I did, their husband was the owner of a dungeon at the time. So, you know, yeah, you won't be alone. Just be safe. Don't, weigh your risks and do what you feel, comfortable doing.
Yeah, some people do not go to local events. They're they drive away from town.
Right.
Some people keep it online only. Some people keep it in the bedroom only. I think you're essentially already doing it, but if you're not, everything related to kink needs to be its own account. It does not, don't let the streams cross your non-kink and your kink life. So I did this as a writer, but JB was doing this even when he wasn't a writer. Different email address, different social media accounts, different logins, different everything. So.
Good night, Kim. But no, nothing was ever tied to any of my personal accounts. That was all separate emails. So yeah, and typically, unless they are completely uneducated or somehow just assholes sitting there in the kink community, you come across like a fellow person in your school district or whatever, or in the same, they want the same anonymity you want, so it's sort of a mutual agreement that we won't say anything about this outside of maybe this space that we happen to come across. That's kind of Munch 101. What happens at the Munch stays at the Munch, or what's talked about at the Munch stays at the Munch.
Right.
Because the other people there are, just as concerned as you would be about keeping, people have families, they have careers, they have, different reasons, for wanting to keep, the two lives separate. So.
And when in doubt, if you ever did have that moment of, oh my gosh, I recognize them from, work in some way, you can have just be upfront. We will never mention this at work, right? And get their agreement. They'll probably be like, oh hell no, oh shit no, right? Like, we have one friend, very dear and very good friend from our old Munch, and she would tell people, if you see me out in public, you run across me in the grocery store, you don't know me. I could be with my family, so just don't approach me. And she told people this right up front. Yeah. Onyx, you just came in meowing and complaining, but you won't come up here on the table and let everybody look at you. Meow. She knows it's late and she wants to know why she hasn't been brushed yet.
Or got her treats.
I don't think she cares about the treats so much as the brushing.
There you go.
Hi, Onyx.
There we go.
Hi, Onyx. Are you going to put your butthole at the camera again? Or are you just going to nuzzle the microphones? I was listening back for the last time she jumped up here. Her purr was so loud.
Yeah.
You don't want what you're sniffing on that bottle. I'm going to get this bottle out of your way. Because I don't feel like cleaning up glass. You are a silly, funny girl. Thank you, Mr. Spock. I talk to her by meowing back. Oh, good. There's fur and dander flying everywhere.
Yeah.
It's great. Hi, Miam. Hi, puppy. I know you're not really oh, I love you too. Oh, yes. Just wipe your butt across the mic. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Yep, put that butthole. Look, if you want me to start you an OnlyFans, I will. But you cannot show your butthole on our YouTube page.
Kitty fans.
I feel so sorry for anybody who's not watching the screen. It's like, whose butthole?
Right.
Not mine. Not mine.
Nor mine.
So. Yeah, Silent, it took her 3 years to sit on top of a pillow that happened to be in my lap, and she still hasn't done it, since. Yeah, speaking of paramedics being kinky, the person who taught the class you went to on injury and first aid and kink
injury, first aid, and
EMT,
and
right?
talking to the police.
Right.
Was a EMT. Yeah.
And he did that class a lot in the local area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Onyx, what are you doing, Bobby? Why are you licking the coaster?
Look at her. She's all like rumpled now. Oh, yeah.
I was scratching her butt. She likes
Okay.
that. We got nothing to say now. We are totally
Yep.
focused on Onyx. Sorry. Oh, I was recording my own spicy content for our spicy page.
Oh, yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
I'd done it the week before. It's kind of a chatty style watch me play with a sex toy. Y'all, I'm sure there's a better way to explain it, but I don't know. Anyway, both the first time I did that and then the one I recorded today, Onyx damn sure got on the fucking bed and thought she was gonna... Is she batting at the screen?
She's looking at the screen, seeing herself, and
is confused and wants to know who
Yes.
that miniature cat is.
Right.
Yeah, so like I'm splayed out on the bed. I'm trying to use this damn sex toy and test this fucking lube that I didn't even care about.
Mm-hmm.
And here comes Onyx, who wants to sniff and investigate everything.
Yeah.
Lord. I'm touching your tail. That's not your favorite thing, but I'm touching your tail. You're just going to clean yourself on camera. This is the Onyx show now.
Right.
We're not needed here. This is her world. We're just living in it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh God. All
Wow.
that fur. Yes. Right near all of our equipment.
All our
Onyx.
electronics, yeah.
I know. Yes. Cat friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Onyx, are you? She's rubbing up against your mic. I don't know what y'all can hear from that, but. Serendipity asks, what are our best tips for a long distance relationship, DS relationship? Go ahead.
Consistency.
My top one is figure out a routine, and it doesn't have to be a routine that you keep for fucking ever. It's a routine that works for your life and your relationship right now, and do your best to stick with it as closely as you can. So that's when you'll talk, how you'll talk, when you'll visit, how you'll visit, how decisions get made, the different types of communication, from like just we're just existing together on the phone or on FaceTime or whatever, to the we got to talk about big, important, serious things. Shameless self-promotion. We do have a workbook on our Etsy page about navigating long-distance DS, and it's not a theoretical thing. It's here is how we put together a strategy to make this work for us, and I even put worksheets in it and checklists and stuff like that. So if you want something hands-on that you can do, that is available on our Etsy shop. But what other tips would you have?
Keep an open line of communication. Whether you do FaceTime or Zoom or something like that you can actually see, because a lot of times during text things get lost in the translation.
Yeah, we did not use text for in-depth, like meaningful conversations. We did use email a lot. And even like, especially when we needed to like explain big feelings, but those emails were always sort of followed up at some point with a phone call where we could hear each other's voice.
Right.
I would also say there is more that you can do in a power exchange long distance than you think you can. You just have to get creative.
Right.
If sex and fuckery is part of your DS, because it's not for everybody, phone sex is your friend.
Yep.
As is maybe video chat sex, but like you have to be careful about the platforms you're using, because technically in their TOS you're not like in some of them. I think Zoom is one, and I think Skype is one. You're technically not allowed to do that, and so you have to just be careful. But
yep.
So yeah.
Night, Maddie. And Mr. Spock asked about the weather. No, we're not into Hades mode yet. Hades. Okay. Sorry.
You're okay.
And, I haven't even had the need to set up the fan in the shop yet.
No, we're still on only mowing every 2 weeks, so
Yeah.
it's not even it's not really full summer weather yet.
No. And, Silent, promise Kayla a coffee or some kind of treat, and she'll leave the house in any weather.
Only if I want the treat. Like, I have to be in the mood for it. There have been times I have turned down a coffee I wasn't in the mood for it.
So have I.
I never turned down a Diet Coke, though.
That's true. That's true. Yep. So, yeah, the mornings are still very pleasant.
Yeah, I do my morning walks, and yeah, if I come home sweaty, it's because of the effort I put in, not because the air was wet. So that's helpful.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is we haven't really felt the humidity coming in hot and heavy yet.
Yeah, no, so I'm the person who goes,
Yeah.
I'm going for a walk because it helps my stupid fucking mental health. I'll see you later. That's how walks get suggested around here. You wanted to... So we do two things now. Obviously, we walk Lola. We've been talking about that. But now, I don't want to say we walk the 13-year-old.
Well,
But because of some stuff he's had going on, one of his doctors was like, I want you to get exercise. I want you to actually move your body more than you do. I think this will help with what you're going through. And if not, there will be medication. Like, start with this. If that doesn't work, medication. So we are now making him go out on walks with us. And I know it is good for him. And I watched it help him yesterday when we did this. And tonight, JB went, well, are we walking the dog? And I went, oh, I guess. And I'm like, are we inviting the 13-year-old? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine, let's go.
yeah, I mean, we're solidly in the 80s during the day. But it's not horrible yet because the humidity hasn't set in.
And that's late. Normally by April, we're not heavily feeling it, but we're feeling a little bit of it.
A little bit of it, yeah. And so far, it hasn't settled in yet.
Yeah, I enjoyed the couple of, like, cold-ish, I mean, air quote that because it's not really cold, chillier mornings we had. Like, I had to put on a hoodie to go on my walk one morning. I was like, this is fucking delightful. This is great. You know what, Silent Wing? You're right, and I had thought about that, and then I got into interesting conversations with the 13-year-old that I don't think I would have otherwise, and I went, yeah, I'll do this until he flat ass refuses to leave the house. So that is the thing I'm learning more and more about the 13-year-old, because he is his neurospicy is the spiciest of anybody in this house. And he's never going to just volunteer information or tell you stuff. But because he's also a typical teenager. And he's at that age. And so, like, we have to get him into these situations. And do you know what he said to me? I didn't tell you. So I think he enjoyed it, even though he does not want to admit that he enjoyed a walk. And he actually admitted he kind of likes running. And I, being the mom, jumped on, well, do you want to do track and field? Do you want to do cross country? What extracurricular can we get? He's like, no, I don't want to do that. I just like to sometimes run because I want to run. I went, okay, that's fine. So he said, will we be walking Lola tomorrow, meaning Saturday? I said, we actually don't usually walk her on the weekends, but, I said, we could. I said, but also, we could go for a walk.
At any time.
Without having to walk the dog. And he went, okay. I said, and I think some kids wouldn't be, they might not want to do it, but they wouldn't be worried about this, but this is a kid that would. I said, you know the path we like to walk. I said, you can go for a walk on your own. I feel safe with him out there. And he looked at me and he goes, I could. And then he got nervous, like, wait, by myself? I think it's too soon for that. And I said, look, I'll go with you. I said, if, it can be just the two of us if you want. And he actually, like, his little face just brightened up, like, yeah, maybe we can do that. And I'm like, okay, I guess we have to walk forever. Because if this is how I'm going to get to bond with this kid, because bonded with the oldest in a different way under different circumstances. And this one has been a harder nut to crack. And so it's like, we'll walk anywhere. I'll walk to the end of the earth for you. Let's go. So, but yeah.
Well, I got a big eye roll from him this afternoon when I picked him up at school. Got in the car and we started driving off, and then we came to the first traffic light, stoplight, and I looked over him and I said, meh. And he looked at me and like, I said, I was going to ask you how your day was, but I already knew what the answer was, so I just said the answer instead of asking you the question.
And then all you saw were the whites of his eyes. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I got one better. I didn't tell you this. I don't think I told you this. Oh, my God. So, but I think it's the ADHD, but it could be the other bits of him. I don't know. But I have gotten into a habit. Every morning we run through a checklist. Have you done this, 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 and this? Because he will forget sometimes. All the time. So I went in there one morning and I went, good morning. Eye roll. Could see like the back of his eyeballs. Then I was like, hey, have you done? And I went through the list like we had been doing. And he sighed so deeply and then rolled his eyes so hard. And I was like, you have put your older brother to shame, who was an avid eye roller.
Oh, yeah.
And I went, okay, I'll stop going through that whole checklist. I did walk into his room one time and just went, good morning. That's all I said. Eye roll. I was like, damn. Yeah. So, Sir Smoopsy Pants asks you, JB, what's your favorite product to make for the kinkery or the wood dom?
I think the favorite thing that I enjoy making the most are the knives.
For the kinkery?
Yeah.
And yet
I know.
I asked for some and you made a face and a noise. What about for the wood dom?
For the wood dom, I do enjoy making the pens.
I like it when you make the pencils because those fucking sell.
Well, the pencil, yeah.
We can't keep a 2mm mechanical pencil in.
I know.
It's a good problem to have.
So, but I do enjoy turning a good bowl too.
Yeah, you've got some gorgeous bowls. I think I've finally got all but maybe one listed on your Etsy shop.
Yeah. I think those two sitting over there.
Well, one of those doesn't have a label and you just like randomly plopped it there and I don't know where it came from, what it's made of, or what you want to price it at.
It's made of wood and I turned it on the lathe.
That will sell on Etsy. You have to help me help you, okay? Okay. If I could pluck the thoughts straight from your brain hole without having to ask you questions, I promise you I would. It would make my life so much easier. So, is that Ella crying in the back?
Yes.
Because she can't figure out how to get in here, even though she knows the window is there.
Right. She can't figure out how to get in here, and all she knows is she hasn't had any treats yet.
Right, and it's late.
Yeah.
So, but Onyx knows the window, and she's out of here.
Oh, she's been in and out of here more times than fingers on my hand. So
I gotta get him to make those keychains, Halloween.
I know.
It's not an official question, but I'm going to turn it into a question. Thank you, Mr. Spock.
Oh, goodness.
You planning on making any more shaving sets ever?
You know, I do enjoy making the shaving
They're
sets.
gorgeous. They're expensive, y'all.
They take time.
Yeah, and time is not something you have a lot of right now.
No, I do enjoy making them, but yeah, they take time.
Yeah, and I was supposed to do it. Your phone's buzzing left, right, and center. You've got a handful of pins waiting for me to list, too, and I was supposed to take pictures this week so I could get them up on Etsy.
Yeah.
I never got the chance. This week ran long.
So, yeah, there's a bunch of pens sitting over there that need to go up on.
Any more ballpoints, or are they click and twisties? You want to do a show and tell? None of these are available for purchase, though. Not yet. Not because we don't want to. Because, well, I ran out of steam, y'all.
Well, they're, what have we got here?
You don't even know.
Yeah. Okay, it's a click pen. Black mahogany.
Okay, so it's wood.
African mahogany, I'm sorry.
Oh.
And then the rest they're all twist pens.
Oh, made of wood? Or are there any that are made of resin?
All wood.
And then you've got this Cuban mahogany set.
That's a pen and pencil set.
Oh, it's a set. I'm glad I said something, because I would have gone, oh, two. Okay.
No, that's why they're in the bag together. It's a mechanical pencil.
Gotcha. I can't make this work. Okay, there we go. There we go.
But yeah, several different pens.
No more resin ones to add?
Not right now, no.
Okay. So if you're into resin, those are all listed?
Those are all, whatever resin I have is listed, yeah. More African mahogany.
Okay. You went through a bundle of African mahogany, apparently, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Silentwing asked if there will be any more Paduke in the shop.
I hope so someday.
We have 1 pounder paddle and I think 1 knife left made of Paduke.
Yeah. I have a small stack of Paduke knives that are about probably about 10 of them waiting to be made. I have not bought very much in the way of exotic woods lately.
It's expensive.
The frickin' prices of this stuff has scared me.
But you did have a little piece of Purple Heart that you were working from.
Yes.
Knives.
There'll be some knives that come of that, and Holy Terrors.
Holy Terror panels.
Yeah. But yeah, I keep looking, and even the sale price on a lot of the exotic woods is insane.
There's it being affordable enough in our minds to purchase said wood, and then having to price it and being willing to price anything at those prices. So there's a conundrum there.
Yep.
So yeah, you might not want to talk about it, and that's okay, but I'll just be a big old meanie and say you're playing with another style of paddle too.
Yes.
I don't think I'm sure somebody else, because there's no such thing as an original idea in this world anymore. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody do anything like it. It hurt like a motherfucker. A lot of that had to do with the type of wood you used, but
yeah,
on the prototype you're working on. But yeah, like, it's just not a shape or a style I think I've ever come across before. Have you?
No.
Cool.
Not that I can think of, no.
Dustin asks, is cinnamon wood something that you can buy?
I don't know. I don't know, Dustin. I've never actually heard of cinnamon wood.
But it would make sense if cinnamon.
Yeah.
I wonder if the tree or the whatever it comes from is called something else more commonly.
Yeah.
Silent Wing asks, would it be possible to char a paddle and then coat it in resin?
Yes. Yeah. You burn the wood using a torch. There's an actual name for it. I cannot think of the name for what they call that when you do it. Yeah, and then you could coat it using a top coat like they use for the tabletops.
Mr. Spock will message you in Discord on wood stuff.
Okay.
So be prepared for that. Thank you, Mr. Spock. Yeah.
Let's see.
Materials. I keep reading all these articles about how technically some prices are coming down, and I'm like, where? Because material prices for us are just going up every day. It's more.
Yeah.
It's like fucking kidding me.
Now, I didn't actually find a seller, but apparently what this is saying, inner bark is used as an aromatic spice.
Right.
And the wood can be used for beautiful woodwork.
And is it cinnamon wood?
Which will also have a sweet scent. Yeah.
I would be here for you.
The sweetness of cinnamon comes from the aromatic oils that are found in the bark and leaves. Okay. But the wood also has kind of like the eucalyptus wood that I used to get, and also the camphor.
That's exactly what I thought about. I thought about how much I love the smell of camphor when you turn it. I can only imagine what cinnamon would smell like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, apparently it is used in woodworking.
Okay. I think it's officially, I'm going back to what was said 2 hours ago, not 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a week, and I think we're all feeling it. Like, I just stopped having thoughts a few minutes ago, and I got nothing.
I'm going to run out and grab that.
Okay,
paddle.
feel free. I think I would love to get feedback from folks. There's going to be a show and tell in a minute. Give us a second. And I can hear him talking either to a cat or a dog. I don't know. Silent Wing, anything new and exciting? He's gonna go grab the prototype that he's been working on. I think if that goes well, that might be. Our plans are to expand some stuff. So our resin inlays are in the near future, are supposed to expand what's available. And I'm desperately trying to expand our wax play candle color assortment. I want to expand into a blend of soy and paraffin, but that is further out than I anticipated.
So just so you know, Lola's going to be a joy to get in bed. She's sound asleep on the sofa.
Well, maybe we just let her sleep on the sofa tonight.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Okay. Do you want me to hold it up to the camera and you talk about it into the microphone?
So I've been playing a little bit and talking about this for a while, doing something a little different with the paddles. And I was playing with shape, and this is kind of what I was playing with instead of just like a grip handle.
Mm-hmm. Hide my face so it'll... There we go. Yeah, because then it'll focus. Yeah, so you put your fingers through the grip. And from what we were playing with earlier, right-handed or left-handed?
Yeah. Works either way.
I mean, it'll be slightly different because it's got a slightly different shape, but the thing that we were talking about was thinking about the size of the finger grip holes, because while JB has pretty healthy sized fingers, somebody with larger fingers could struggle. So Silent Wing got it right away.
Yes.
Yes, brass knuckles and a paddle.
That's what I based it off. Exactly.
And thank you for pimping our stuff out on Reddit.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Do I still have it here? Don't mind JB, he's just wandering off. Yeah. What kind of wood is this?
I have no idea.
Oh, it's just like a piece you had?
Just a piece of scrap that I...
This hurt so much. My ass was on fire. And this one's ours, so we'll play with it. It's very light. It's a very light piece of wood.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. No heft at all.
Yeah, see, this is what I came. You cannot buy. I found out because I was going to start looking for brass knuckles to kind of do that, and come to find out that in the state of Florida, you have to have a license to own
Brass
knuckles. So I sketched up.
Yep.
And then cut out a template and then started playing with the things. And then this was what I used for the handle. And
stingy.
Very stingy. Very stingy. So, yeah, that's the first one I made, and playing with it and kind of see what I need to adjust. The grip feels okay. A little.
Do you think it's a little too thin?
And that could possibly be what.
Or do you think that this part where you're holding on to is not wide enough? Maybe you need a wider piece of wood? I don't know.
I don't know.
Right, rah-rah. Right. You're very right.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
If you use it backwards, I don't really want to know, Silent Wing.
Oh, you mean if you come in like this?
No, thank you.
No, you can.
That's a hard no. That's a hard no. That thing was so light that the impact just burned. That's how stingy it was, and I'm not. No.
So, yeah, X. I don't know what it is. It's definitely not maple. It's not oak. Way too light for oak. I honestly don't know. It was just.
Silent Wing said no. If you smack with this side, hold the solid.
Oh.
I think that would no.
Come in.
No. Let the holy bits land on the ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, it probably.
It probably would.
Silent Wing, you're right. It is made of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very light piece.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I'm in love with the shape, but I think that the shape is more functional than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. Play with it.
Right, you'll play with sketching out on different pieces of wood, different configurations or replications of what you've done. That's what you'll be testing and seeing. Yes, because you've already tested it on my ass. And
Oh no! Each one has to be quality assured.
Yeah.
And you
I'm gonna
are.
need you to try heavier wood then. That's. Whew. And now, if you like the sound of the smack, the sound was like a crack on my ass, and we were outside at the shed, and you could hear like noises all around. There was somebody working in somebody's yard. There were people like standing out in the front yards talking. The people in the woods were doing whatever the people in the woods do, and he smacked my ass twice, and that crack was so loud everything went silent for like a half a second. I was like, oh my god.
I think they need to experience that.
Do they though?
Yeah.
Do they though at 11:46 at night?
Yes.
You might wake up a child. That's how loud that thing was earlier. They might come running.
Right.
They would not come running. They're not getting out of bed.
No. No. They don't even get out of the room with the doorbell rings.
That's true. Neither do I. Unless I know I have a package coming.
Face the wall.
I know how. Hold on, let me not flash YouTube. We only flash OnlyFans, not YouTube. Oh my god.
Okay, you gotta.
It burns. That was enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't care about having uneven butt cheeks right now. It's fine. Oh my god. Oh my god. We'll check my ass later. I can't check it here. If we can ever coordinate times, I see awful, mean, wonderful things happening if we go live on OnlyFans.
See, everybody loved it.
Yeah, and you don't have a product to sell, so
No.
I'm gonna need you to get on that. But I also have a list of things I need from you. Also, we're running out of time to reach our second quarter goals of what we were supposed to release on the site. We got work to do.
I need more hours in the day.
Same. Look, we do what we can with what we got.
That's true.
V, that is not a question I could answer. I mean, you can do OnlyFans for not money. Like, you can make it free and then share as much as you want. That is for sure. But having to deal with income thresholds, because of any disability that you receive, that I couldn't answer. But you can make your OnlyFans completely free if you wanted. So I'm a little scared. Now here's my now I'm curious because you use the brass knuckles as inspiration for the paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make wooden brass knuckles?
No.
Oh man, sorry, Al, for anybody who might have been interested, because I saw you holding them.
Yeah. It feels good to hold them.
Here's what I would say. Product development, real quick. I don't know about thicker because of comfort, because you're the one that has to hold them. But if this, because you know how we like punching as part of our implant play? Whoo, haven't had that in a while. It's like a deep tissue massage. If, I can't imagine what it might feel like, and somebody may know the safety part of this better than I would for that kind of impact. But if you had a little bit more wood up here, and it thicker for sure, and maybe solid. I know these ridges would hurt. Here, I'm gonna get closer. Like, it would be a pain. These could never be cheap because that'd be a lot of intricate cutting. Like, I get that. But could you do... If we do wooden knives, why can't we do wooden brass knuckles? You went gentle on me there. I did hurt, and I did feel like the line. I think thicker for at least the part. Maybe I think it would depend on the comfort level of putting your hand through it. But maybe something, like brass knuckles into like a wooden wedge. Yes. If you need more product ideas, we could have a whole brass knuckles collection. Paddles and
wooden knuckles.
Ass knuckles instead of brass knuckles. Which now brass monkey is in my head. Sorry.
I got brass in pocket.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've also learned that I can scream in this house and nobody's coming to save me.
No kids, no dog, no, yeah.
Well, I think we've desensitized them. Even the dog doesn't perk up when I start making noises.
No.
Yeah, something.
That's true.
That's true. We have a silicone mold we're supposed to be making at some point in the future that we're working on something else. So yeah. Oh, cannot invest in anything like that right now, but
I
maybe
think
one day.
I think if there was anything I would invest in at some point, it would be a laser engraver.
Yes, especially with the amount of requests we get for things that would be handy for it. Yeah. We're gonna need to buy another house with another office. I already am. We knew this was coming, but I think it's coming faster than either of us wanted to admit. I need another shelving storage unit for that space we were talking about.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Yep. So.
That's true, Silent.
Yeah.
You can do a lot of things with a 3D printer.
Yeah, I somehow managed to get on that side of the Instagram algorithm one night. That was kind of cool.
Did you? Yeah.
I don't even know how I got there. I don't know how I got away from it either, but... So, yeah. Yeah, there's lots of different pieces of equipment I think we would both like for different things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Hmm?
Maybe never. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad that we're so quiet tonight.
So I've kind of, I don't think I've mentioned this before. I've kind of been looking, because of my back, riding a motorcycle is no longer
No.
a thing for me. So, but I did happen to find Can-Ams. And the Can-Am Spider, which is a three-wheeled bike that I should have no problem.
I know.
Yeah.
And you're already looking at the one where I can ride in the back in style.
Yes.
And we're already talking about the road trips that we'll take when we're not trying to keep children alive.
Yeah. They're asking where you got your shirt from.
You just want to make me say it, don't you? God damn it. Happy to tell you. Rural King. I cannot say that damn word. I feel like most of my t-shirts now come from the Rural King. And Nubra asked about my collar that I'm not wearing right now. God, I just realized that. And that is from Elegantly Owned.
Yeah.
And he is on Etsy. Teishu, who is often in the live chat, except not right now because he's in Japan on vacation. Good for him. Yeah, that's Elegantly Owned on Etsy. That's where that one comes from. You know, I could, and I can, but I didn't, did I?
I've got the keyboard blocked, so she had to say it.
And if I'm talking, I can't type. If I'm typing, I can't talk. But, yeah. Do we need to go to Rural King for anything? I don't think so. Not unless we're like gonna get some chickens, but I don't want to take care of chickens. I wouldn't mind their eggs, but we're not building any more fencing.
No.
Would Rural King have what we need for the fence panels?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Don't think so.
You would think a place like Rural King, where lots of fences are made out in the rural areas.
Yeah, that's why they sell stuff like chicken wire and chain link.
Yeah, but you still... I'm just saying, maybe we should look it up.
Could.
I mean, I'm already dreading when we have to replace those 3 fence panels.
I know.
I've already warned the kids it's an all hands on deck kind of day. We're all getting out there to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the 17-year-old just got a new job, so that's
Irritating.
I know. Yeah, the
And
17-year-old got a new job, so he might not be able to help us.
And it's past time for me to take my cough medicine.
Ah, okay. And if this persists, you're going to actually go to a doctor. Thank you. You heard it here. I have witnesses.
I'm sorry, it was muffled.
Stop doing that to folks. As I shriek in your ear. Sorry, y'all. I do feel sorry for anybody who's listening with earbuds or anything. But yeah, it's kind of quiet. It's 11:58.
Mm-hmm.
The 17-year-old's new job, he's going to be a dishwasher at a little like cafe kind of restaurant that is in one, not in the biggest one, but in one of our bigger retirement communities. It's one of those 55 and up, but they want to be the Villages, but they're not the Villages. They're the Villages light. So they got all these restaurants and stuff in there, and the job was advertised as no late nights, and he went, okay, I'll go do that. And they hired him on the spot. He said the vibe was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Spock. I did learn that when I was listening back to my very ranty BDSM Reddit episode, and I was like, damn, that was loud. So, yeah. 17-year-old's gonna wash dishes until he goes off to college, and he doesn't have a lot of expenses right now, so hopefully he'll bank some money. But he also just got a new girlfriend, so it'll probably flow through his fingers like water.
Yeah.
I think the 17-year-old, when he's in a relationship, if he had a love language for giving, it's giving gifts. He loves to give gifts. He's pretty relaxed about receiving them. He's also pretty picky, so sometimes he's like, I'd rather know somebody not get me anything than get me the wrong thing, but I don't know. Yes, Silent Wing, first it was, we're just hanging out. We just really enjoy each other's company. And then I got a text, by the way, we're together. I went, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll see what happens once he goes off to college. But going off to college is 45 minutes away, an hour away. Right. So I don't know. He's 17. He's young.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been over a couple times. He does not ask me to socialize with people when he first starts bringing them over. And I appreciate that, because even though I am old enough to literally, obviously, be this child's mother, the social anxiety still gets me. I feel so foolish when it's true. So, yeah. So, yeah, the place closes. During the week, they close at like 8, and then on the weekends, they close at 9. And the only really long day is on the weekend when they do a brunch. So, who knows? So, I mean, I haven't seen it end well yet, but some folks got to learn by going through it. So, yeah. He's happy right now, and so... So, yeah. But he told me that with this person, it was the first time she was putting in as much effort as he puts in a relationship. Like, she was coming up with ideas of what they could do, and she was reaching out to him and saying, hey, I was thinking about you and let's chat. He goes, Mom, he went, Mom, I went, it's nice when somebody puts in effort. And he goes, it is. It really is. And so I don't care how short-lived this is. I'm glad he's finally having a relationship experience with a person who's putting in as much effort as he puts into relationships. Because the last two, that is not how that went.
Mm-mm.
So.
Well, the second one was better than the first one.
Yes. Yes.
So it's been gradually improving.
He's been learning as he goes.
Yes.
So, but.
You know, it's after midnight.
It is.
Yep. And it's 12:02, so it's an even number.
That's true, but we would have to end right this second. Once it hits 12:03, I gotta wait for another even number. I'm sorry.
Damn it.
And it's now 12:03. Actually, if we really cared about my comfort level, we would go to 12:05 because fives and 10s are best.
Okay.
But I don't know. So.
Damn it! I tried. I
really
really
tried so hard. You tried.
Whoop.
You throwing shit at me now? Right, Mr. Spock? Exactly. He is, he's learned some lessons and he's remembered said lessons. So, and you know, she seems like a bright kid. AP classes, like, works hard. Blah blah blah. Who says I'm not fun at parties? I mean, if by fun you mean the person who's probably sitting in the corner by herself staring at her phone, or trying to like wash your dishes and help clean up, or petting the dog or the cat. But yeah.
Yeah, I know. You would think, right, X? I mean, I'm, just knocking shit everywhere.
Oh, no, if I'm actually out at the party, the time that I leave does not matter. Do I get to leave now? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's not waste another goddamn moment. No, I don't have to go to the bathroom, even though I probably do, but I'm not using that strange bathroom, so we'll just clinch till we get home. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, Mr. Spock, I hope he just remembers those patterns and those lessons when the relationships get... Not that his relationships have not been real. High school relationships are real relationships, but it's just different once you're in college and in your 20s and whatever, and so, yeah.
It's 12:05.
It is. We can go now. Okay. Thanks for being with us during this live stream, or if you're watching later, thanks for sitting through whatever the fuck this is. We will see y'all very soon. Yep. We're going to bed. We gotta go be grandparents tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to it. Okay. Bye.
Bye.